Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris with Recon Athletics. Let's get right into it. All right, so talking about the most important defensive aspects to start working on if you're new to MMA for striking specifically. Number one is going to be your footwork and your range management. I need to make sure that if I don't want to engage, that I can move in and I can move out effectively. I'm going to push off the front leg and drive backwards. I want to make sure to push off the front leg. That way my whole body and head move out of the way of incoming strikes versus reaching and following with my body. That little delay is going to get you caught on the way out. Additionally, when I'm moving backwards away, I don't really want to move more than 3 steps. That's kind of pushing your luck already. I'd say 2 steps before I want to start angling off one way or the other. If I'm getting pressured right here, I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to start cutting an angle. Make sure I don't get backed into the corner or against the cage. I can go the other way. I can do a traditional boxing pivot. So I go 1, 2, and then I can pivot and let them drive by. The next part I want to talk about is head movement. So slips, rolls, pulls. Slips are going to be for straight punches coming at you. I'm going down and across, moving my head off that center line. That's why it's only for straight. So you don't want to slip into hooks because they're coming out and around. A slip just moves you right into it. So for the rolls, I need to go down and under the hooks or overhands, whatever it is. So I'm going to go down, under. I like to do it with a step. You don't have to take the step, but I generally like to take the angle while I have the opportunity. Same thing on this side. If it's an overhand from an orthodox fighter, I'll go down, under, and away. When you're rolling, roll with your hands up. That way you don't get caught by something, especially if you mispredict. If you think it's a hook and you go to roll and it's actually an uppercut, I want this hand up just in case. Or if someone puts a kick behind that strike. Additionally, we have pulls. So if an uppercut's coming, I can actually lean back. Preferably, I like to take a step out. Small step, you're a little closer for counters if you lean back, but you leave this leg exposed. If someone throws like a lead uppercut right into a rear low kick, the leg's there. So I like to take the step back so I have a nice strong leg just in case they're following with a low kick or an inside kick, whatever it may be. So next we have hands and blocking, parrying. I don't really like to use a shell for MMA. That works a lot better in boxing because the gloves are significantly bigger. They take up more space. With boxing gloves, I can take up a lot of space here, but with MMA gloves, they're not much bigger in your hand. So in order to close up this space, I have to open up the sides. In order to close up that space, I have to open up the center. Not only do boxing gloves take up defensive space, but that's offensive space they need to squeeze through there. So with their gloves being bigger, your gloves being bigger, this is a lot more reliable. Small gloves both ways, there's a lot more holes for them to squeak through. So if I'm going to do blocking, if someone's throwing like an overhand and I really want to hold my ground to enter, I'm actually going to take a small step in and I'm going to try and match the angle perpendicularly of that incoming punch. So hopefully I intercept it like this. They throw that overhand, boom, I'm coming here. I don't particularly like the helmet guard or the rhino guard, whatever you want to call it, just because you leave yourself way too open. Not to mention, there's still gaps, small gloves. If you're good enough at anything, get away with it. We're here, step in, boom, intercept that way. But blocking is a little bit of a gamble because I'm relying on timing to be able to catch that. If I mispredict, if I have the wrong angle, make sure you don't block like this, like you're trying to swat it away because this is weak. A child could pull your arm down this way. It's just your rotator cuff. But here, it's your whole frame, your delts, your pec, your serratus, your tricep. Same thing on the other side. If that lead hook comes in, boom, I'm going to step here. Off of this, you can enter the tie clinch. Boom. You can throw an elbow, overhand, if you're short like myself. So boom, boom, boom. Trying to jam them up. You can pummel for your underhooks off this. A lot of things you can do off of that block intercept, but it's a very high risk, high reward. Keep that in mind. Next, we have the parries. So with the parries, we're in here. They're generally for straight punches. You can sweep hooks and things like that, but generally we're just boom, boom. You can parry either hand with either hand, but it sets up different opportunities and risks. We're not going to get into it. I can parry their jab with my lead hand, or I can parry their jab with my rear hand. There's risks, rewards. You do you. Boom, boom. I want to keep these in my strike zone. I don't want to start swinging wildly because they're going to start feinting and following up. Make sure that we don't go too far. If the strike is here, I just got to move it down here. A lot of things we can do. Okay, guys, so those are the three things I think about prioritizing for defense for beginners in that order of priority. Number one being your footwork and your range management, because if you can't get away, you're going to get caught. Number two is going to be your head movement, slips and rolls, because that's going to rely a little bit more on prediction and reaction and actually getting out of the way of the strike. And then number three would be blocking and parrying, because you're gambling a little bit on being able to intercept it at the right time and you're not actually moving out of the way. So if you're a little off on time, you're going to get hit. One thing I always like to say is that if you're good enough at anything, you can get away with it. There's plenty of fighters that fight with their hands down. They fight in a bladed stance versus a square stance. So again, what you're good at, what your talents are, what your skills are, what your abilities are, they can change a lot what you can get away with. But these are just the fundamentals to get started for brand new fighters that have no experience or training. I tried to make it short, down, and dirty for you guys. If you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it.